Hello everyone, my name is Shambhavi. Hope you all are doing well. So now here, after going through some of the topics regarding your machine learning for Python, now further we will be discussing about the keywords and the identifiers which we have up in the Python programming language. Now, if I talk about your keywords and identifiers, so keywords are the types of the reserved words. Means these are some of the words which are already those are actually made up here in the Python programming language. The functionality behind those respective words are already defined. It's just that you have to simply write in that word and it will automatically understand that what is the functionality or what are the things which are being made up here. This might sound a little bit not a proper thing, this might sound a little bit improper to you, but let me explain this with an example. Now, let's say whenever you want to make in any function in Python, so what do we do up here? We simply try to write in up here div and then my function name, let's say like this one. Right, now what is this particular div which I had used in up here, def? That's a keyword. So whenever we are writing up this def, that is my div, we or anyone who is going to see up your program or even the Python, it automatically understands that okay, this def is there, so it means that the word or the name after this particular keyword will be the function name. So absolutely, one is my function name which we are having up here. Right, so what do I have to do is that I simply needed to write in that particular keyword and then I simply needed to make in that particular function. Right, after that all of the things are being done. Now you can proceed on with your program. You can define in your function, you can write whatever is to be written inside that, you can do the calling of your function, everything you can do it at your end. So this is what is your function, or here that is what is your keyword. Right, so in Python there you are having in total 33 keywords. Right, so those 33 keywords are like there you are having up the three keywords in the very starting, your true, your false and your none. So true, false and none are these three types of keywords which are actually having the very first letter as capital. So if you will check out the map for your keywords, so there you will get to see that only three respective keywords are there. I will just write it up like that. It's like this true. Okay, one second, say true. Then we are having up like this false, F-A-L-S-E, and then I'm having like this none. Now, other than any of the keywords, none of the keywords are there in all those 33 lists, which are having up the capital letter as their first letter of the word. Right, that's a very interesting fact, which generally is not told to you. But here I had mentioned up this particular fact with you people. So I hope that you will remember up this here and make sure that you are going to note this down further. Right. So this is about your keywords. Total 33 keywords are there in the Python programming language, except these three keywords. There is none of the keyword which is having up their first letter as capital. This is what was a small information regarding up your keywords. Right, now, similar to keywords, we are having one more topic, and that is your identifiers. So I can just simply put up a heading here like that. So it might be a good idea like this, and I can simply put it up here in the such a manner of your keywords and identifiers. Okay, keywords and identifiers. So keywords and identifiers. Keywords I had already discussed what are those right with you. If I talk about identifiers, so you know that in the starting of this particular ML for Python, so Python for machine learning, I was discussing up with you many a times that let's say we take up a variable which is A and let's say I take up a variable which is B. Right, I was just using this particular thing many a times into my starting of the complete course. Right, so the term which I was using now, that is variable. That is the other name for the identifiers. Yes, identifiers are similarly, or they are just your variables only, into which you assign up some values, you give in some values there, and just based upon your values, you whatever the operations are to be done, those operations are actually performed out. This is what you do up in the identifiers. So if you talk about the variables or if you talk about identifiers, both are absolutely the similar things. Right now, there are some of the conditions which have to be satisfied, some of the rules which have to be satisfied whenever you are declaring up an identifier. Right, there are some of the things which really have to be taken care of. So I'll be discussing up all of those with you now right away here. Right, so now let's discuss about first of all your rules which you are having in up here regarding your identifiers. The very first rule is that it can be of any length. Okay, so it means that the identifiers which you are having in here, those identifiers can be of any length. You can simply write a simple identifier as A, or you can write up a complete sentence as an identifier. It doesn't matter at all, right? So minimum word is your one in an identifier. Maximum, it's up to infinite. There is no such limit for a maximum thing. Okay, that's the very first thing. Second is that you cannot start an identifier with a number. Now, it's one of the very important points, one of the very important rules which you have to keep up into your mind, and that's you cannot start an identifier with a number. It means that the identifiers which you are going to define up, like A or B, C, D, whatever you are actually going to define in according to your choice, you cannot start that with a number. You can write A, B, you can write A1, B1, A2, B2, in that you can write, but you cannot write 2A, 2B, 2C, you cannot write that like that. If you will write it out into that particular manner, if you're going to put up a number in the starting, you will get up an error. Right, so it is a rule in identifiers that you cannot start a digit, you can identifier with a number or is a digit, whatsoever. Now, moving further with the rule number 3, which you are having in up here, is that it's that no special symbols are allowed. No special symbols are allowed. So it means that if you're having up any special symbol with you, so those are not at all allowed up here. Special symbols consist of your exclamatory mark, at the rate, hash, dollar, percent, power, ampersand, multiplier, brackets, nothing like that. You can put it up here accordingly. Okay, nothing is allowed. But one exception you are having in up here. And what's that exception? Your exception is that you can use your underscores. So underscores are one of the, I would say, one of the type of symbol which is actually allowed while defining or while declaring your identifier or variable. You can always use up A underscore B as a variable. You can always underscore my underscore name as a variable. So underscore is a special symbol which is completely allowed here. Okay. Next, it can be combination. Combination. It means that you can combine the alphabets, you can combine the underscore, you can combine the number, and then you can simply declare up your identifiers or your variables. It means that you can write it up like A underscore 1, this is a valid one, okay? You can write my underscore list 2, this is the valid one. So these types of all of the identifiers or whatever you say like variables, those are completely allowed. But now if you put this 1 or 2 in the starting of the variable, so those are not at all allowed. Right, so just make sure that you are keeping up that particular thing in mind. Now, after having up discussing all of these things, you're having up the very last point that keywords keywords are not allowed. It means that you cannot use a keyword as an identifier, not at all. Okay, WORD is okay. Let me just write in like that. Okay. So keywords are not at all allowed while defining your identifiers. If you put div as a identifier, so it will reverse you an error. If you write else as an identifier, so it will give you error. If you write try as an identifier or variable, it will again throw you an error. So because these are all of your keywords and those are not at all allowed while defining of your variables or identifiers whatsoever you say. Right, so these are some of the rules which we are having up here in the keywords and which are to be kept up into your mind. Right, so this is what about. Now, I hope that I am pretty much clear with all of these things to you regarding your keywords and identifiers. What are those? Where are these used for? Are there any exceptions? If yes, then what are the exceptions? Everything I have discussed up in detail with you. Right, so I hope I'm clear with all of the things. If you haven't subscribed out my channel up to now, so please go ahead, subscribe out my channel and don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you do not miss out any updates from the channel Fun with Data Science. If you have enjoyed the video, so please do hit a like button and even share it with your friends so that they can even learn Python here onto the channel. Thank you so much for watching up this video. So this is all for this video. Till then, thank you and take care.